When you know you want to do something, just go for it. Have faith that everything will work out. I mean, I've lived through a car accident that almost took my life. I've lived through being behind the scenes, being in front of the scenes. Like, I've seen my world completely change, and at the end of the day, you just gotta go with the flow and have your dream. I'm Aliya-Jasmine, and I'm a TV producer, television host, writer, sports fan, and pop culture junkie, and dog lover. My mom used to get us all to like read newspapers, and then we'd each have to like clip out something from a newspaper, and around dinner we'd each have to talk about what we read about in the newspaper, and that was kind of like just how I grew up on media and information. MTV is a really cool place to work because it's eclectic and the people there are all really, really creative. It's a very, very cool creative place because there are no 9 to 5s. I mean, it's TV, so sometimes you work till 11 and sometimes you get to, you know, travel around the world to work. I did a documentary in Africa with this 14-year-old girl. She was supposed to culturally marry this man who was in his 60s, and she would be one of his wives. She ran away, and she wanted to make a change in her community. She wanted to show people that girls needed to get an education, that you can't just marry them off for cattle. And she started this movement. And how do you educate? How do you tell people in like this tiny little, you know, country? My parents were born and grew up 2 hours from where she lives, and by chance I was born in Canada. Because I was born in Canada, I'm able to be a woman of, you know, of minority on television, being able to do what I want, marry who I want, have my own opinions, have an education. And that's totally by luck because I was born Canadian. And if this 14-year-old girl in South Sudan could, by the power of dialogue, change people's perceptions and make the world a better place, I have no excuse as a woman in media living in Canada not to do that here. I have an unbelievable opportunity, and all I can do now is look forward. The funny thing about being behind the camera is you get that creative control that you don't get on camera. And if I had just been on camera right away, I think it would have been really easy for me to become a talking head. Now that I'm in a position where I'm also on TV and I can produce myself, it gives me an unbelievable amount of creative control, which is kind of everyone's dream in this industry. When I get to work, we usually have a pitch meeting in the morning with the producers when we pitch the day's top stories. Then I'll check all the blogs, check different websites, get some information, write my script for the day for Newsflash. I try as much as I can to prepare everything in advance, and I love doing a ton of research. I like watching old interviews, I like going to YouTube, I like reading their books. If I am doing an interview with someone who has written a book, for example, St-Pierre, I will have read the entire book before I go into that interview with him and have watched a million interviews he's done and read a bunch of articles. I think in spite of everything that you've learned and all your education and all your preparation, if you're genuinely curious about someone, be fucking curious.